The Search for Jesus, Chapter 2, Dangers at Every Corner. Felix rolled a stone over the cave so the cave would look just like a huge rock. Sarah heard voices outside. Her heart pounded so loudly that she was sure everyone could hear. Her heart beat so quickly that she imagined it would explode out of her chest. Even in her panic, Sarah had an annoyed look on her face and said, "What is going on? Are you trying to scare me half to death?" Felix was trying to be calm, but sweat poured down his forehead and covered his eyebrows. He was as white as a ghost. The voices overhead started to fade away, and Felix whispered to Sarah, "They're gone, but we better stay here for a little while longer just to be safe." Sarah nodded, still confused by everything. Sarah waited for the time to pass. She thought claustrophobic. Time crawled by. But finally Felix whispered to Sarah, "I think it's safe now." Felix and Sarah crawled out of the cave. "Now what is going on here?" Sarah asked as she dusted herself off. "You confuse me. Can you please make up your mind? You're driving me crazy." Felix covered her mouth again. "Will you lower your voice? The general of the Roman army is still looking for me, you know." "Why would he be looking for you?" Sarah asked in barely more than a whisper. "I'll tell you, but can we walk while we talk?" Sarah followed Felix to the woods as he started to explain the story. "Quintus wanted to use you to get to Jesus. He threatened that he would kill my parents if I didn't ask you to take us to him. I know I couldn't go through with the plan, so I just stood up to him and told him I will no longer be part of the army." "You lied to me! I should never have trusted you!" "I know, and I'm sorry. I promise I'm not going to hurt you," he said as he took a step closer to her. "I don't need your help! You probably lured me into a trap. I'm just fine on my own," she said with her eyes firing. She shoved Felix away and ran off by herself. Felix didn't know what to do, but just then he heard a sound that made him jump out of his skin. He looked up at the darkening sky and saw a flash of light, and then he heard the thunder roar a second time. But the most frightening thing he saw in the sky was a winding gust of wind, headed straight for them. It wasn't just a storm, it was far worse. "Sarah, will you come back? I need to get you somewhere safe," he called out. Sarah turned around and stared into his eyes for a moment to see if he was sincere. Then she saw the cyclone coming down from the sky like a bad nightmare, and she ran towards him. The two of them ran to a large cave nearby. "We'll be safe here," he told her. Felix and Sarah were both so exhausted that they just fell asleep and didn't wake up until the next evening. Felix opened his eyes the next day. He was lying at the edge of the cave when he saw the sun shimmering as gold rays through the trees. He didn't remember anything from yesterday. Then he looked to the other side of the cave and saw Sarah, and the memories flooded back to him. Everything had happened so fast. It was like a blur to him. He walked over to the other side of the cave and shook Sarah awake. "We have to start back on our journey. We'll have to take a ship in a few days." Sarah stood up and brushed herself off. "Hey, look, Felix. About what I said. I didn't mean it. I said some pretty harsh things." "Never mind that. It's fine," Felix told her. As soon as they walked out of the cave, Felix saw the soldiers ride by on the hill above them. "Sarah, stay down," he told her. They stepped back into the cave, and then, when Felix peeked his head up again, they were gone. Sarah and Felix started walking in. "Would you like to learn how to fight?" he asked her out of the blue. "What? What kind of question is that?" "It's a simple question. Would you like me to teach you how to fight in case we are attacked?" "Sure, I guess." "Wait, where are we going to get another sword?" "I don't know. Probably steal from someone else." He grabbed 2 sticks from the ground and threw one at Sarah. "We use these for practice," he told her. "So you're trying to stab the other person in the heart. When the sword comes close to yours, you deck it. Remember, that you're always aiming for the heart, and you're also trying to block the other person's swords." "Okay, so we can practice now." Sarah and Felix had a fierce battle with the sticks. Sarah actually won because Felix went easy on her the first time. "Hey, you did pretty good for your first time. We'll practice more later." Sarah and Felix walked through the forest, and when the night fell, Felix lit a fire and they sat down to eat the bread. "I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten anything for a long time," she told him. "Neither have I. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse." "How long have you been a soldier?" 1 year. I'm in charge of 100 men, but I'm only 22 years old." "Why did you decide to be a soldier?" Felix was hesitant at first because he did not want to talk about his sister, especially not to a girl he hardly knew. Yet as Sarah's brown, twinkling eyes looked at him, she reminded him of Aurora. He couldn't explain it, but Sarah had so many similar features to Aurora. Everything about this girl brought back memories of Aurora. The memories washed over him like a flood. Finally he began to speak in a strong voice because he choked back every tear that wanted to pour out. He was a strong man and he wanted to prove it. I was working for the wrong side because my sister was dying and I needed to make enough money to take her to physicians. I was just trying to save her, but she died. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah said in a whisper. Suddenly from out of nowhere, 2 hands grabbed her. Her screams pierced the air. It's the soldiers! They're after us, Felix said as he saw the rest of the soldiers racing toward them on their horses. Felix wasted no time. He grabbed a thick stick and bashed one of the soldiers over the head. Sarah and Felix dashed to the forest as fast as their legs could carry them. Felix, I feel like I'm going to pass out, Sarah said in shallow breaths. He helped her up a tree and then he grabbed the tree and climbed up himself. In a matter of seconds, the soldiers were at the base of the tree, trying to figure out where they went. Let's split up and look for the boy, one of the soldiers told the rest. They couldn't have gone far, another one said. So they all scattered and no one was left where they were. Felix let out a huge sigh of relief. His breath was returning to normal, but his heart rate was still higher than it should be. Sarah was on a lower branch than him, and he didn't dare speak to her for fear that they would be heard. Sarah accepted the fact that they would be there for a while, and she closed her eyes. When Sarah opened her eyes again, the sun was just beginning to rise. Felix, how do I climb down? She asked, waking him up. Felix suddenly realized that he had no way of helping her down. If he tried to step on a branch she was on, it would probably break. Just jump! Are you crazy? I could break my leg, she told him, slightly annoyed by his advice. I'll climb down first and I'll catch you. You have to trust me. You'll be fine. Carefully made his way down as he stepped on every foothold and grabbed onto every branch he could reach. Finally, he reached the base of the tree. No, jump, he told her. I can't! I'm scared, she said in a terrified voice. Just don't look down. Sarah closed her eyes and jumped. He caught her just before she hit the ground. See, I told you you'd be fine. Oh no, Felix groaned. I just realized we left our food behind. Soldiers probably took everything we had. What are we supposed to do for food then? Can you use your brain for once? Figure something out, he snapped. Use my brain? I'm not the one who left everything behind, she shot back. Yeah, but at least I was the one who knocked the soldier out. How was I supposed to do anything when he grabbed me so suddenly? But screaming your head off worked real well. You did nothing right to us. You're not the brightest girl in the world. Well, if you never followed me, the soldiers wouldn't even be chasing us. You're the one who put us in danger. Just go away. You're not helping me at all. Yeah, and how was a young girl like you gonna survive all alone? You can't even climb a tree without getting all scared, he sneered. Sarah clenched her fist tightly and bit her lip. She was too enraged to say anything more. She wanted to bash him over the head right now, but she continued to walk with him. This was only the beginning of the feud between them. After about an hour of walking, Felix started talking again. Hey, I'm sorry for snapping at you. Just irritated about losing the food. Sarah loosened her grip. Her hands were now swelling from holding her fist so tightly. I'm sorry for fighting with you, she told him. Snake! He suddenly yelled out. Sarah jumped back and let out a squeal of fright. Felix exploded with laughter. I used to do that all the time. I'm glad you find this so humorous, she said in an annoyed tone. Then she suddenly stopped short as she noticed a figure staring straight at her. Staring straight into her eyes with the evilest, deadliest pair of hungry eyes she had ever seen.